Okay, lesson 2.3 is interpreting graphs. Okay, so we're going to take a look at basically some line graphs and we're going to interpret them. Okay, some things that you might want to check out. We can do prices of any commodity, whether it's grain, cattle, could be the stock market. Okay, those are things that you could graph. We could graph things like attendance. We could do attendance to sporting events. We could do attendance at schools. We could do lunch menus. There's so many things we can graph. But what we would be looking at is comparing two things. We'd have to have an independent variable. For example, with our lunches, we could do Monday through Friday and then have the number of people. Okay, we could do the same thing if it's a sporting event. Okay, typically they do for prices of commodities, they don't do it daily, but they might do it by month. So they could do January, February, all the way through December, and then their prices would go up the side. But they would have a variety of different situations. The nice thing about using dates is there's an order, and especially with the prices, not so much attendance, but with prices we can make a continuous graph. For example, in January, we could have early January and late January, so when you're on your way to February and so on, that price might have started low in the early part of January, right after the first of the year. They're not doing a lot of buying and selling, but they ramp it up. And sometimes even within a month, they will go up and down. Okay, so here we got some different things. We're going to look at filling the sink with hot soapy water. We're going to wash some dishes. Okay, so down across the bottom is the time. That's independent. We're telling them at 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. Okay, and this would be the level of the water. Okay. So when we're looking at this, when we start, we're putting in the water, it starts empty and we're putting in some water. But what happens? Somebody puts in a stack of plates. So all of a sudden it goes up really fast. Maybe that even should be completely vertical. Now, it would not be a function if it's vertical, but all of a sudden somebody put the plates in. And maybe we are just barely putting water in then. So it might still be adding some water, but you're starting to wash dishes, so this is going to trickle down. But that would be a situation where you could say, oh, that's kind of cool to understand where that came from. Okay. Here we have poor Ed. He filled his car tire with air, but there's a slow leak, and by the end of his workday, the tire is flat. Okay, so across the bottom, the independent variable, again, is time. So this is the start of his day. This would be at noon, and this would be the end of his day. Maybe he's at work 8.5 hours. We'll go to 9. But this would be his air in his tire. And maybe we're talking air pressure. So air pressure often starts at 32 to 34. So 10, 20, 30. Okay. So what's happening? It's a slow leak, and by the end of the day, his pressure, or the air in his tire, it's flat. And that will reflect what is happening. Okay? So here we have another situation. Sue went to visit her friend Mary. She rode her bike the 2.5 miles to Mary's house, visited for a while, then rode her bike back to her own house. So let's graph the distance Sue is from home in relation to time. So here's her time. Here's her distance from home. I should put that on a finer line, shouldn't it? So she bikes to her friends She stays for a while and she bikes back. Now, I'm not saying that the speeds were the same, that's how I drew it, but maybe she was in more of a hurry to get to her friend's house and less of a hurry to get home, so it could have looked different. But that would be an idea of how someone would graph some information. Okay. The snowboarder made this graph of his time away from the ski lodge. Let's describe what happened. Okay, so in this first little bit of time, I think this is when he's riding the chairlift up to the top of the mountain. Okay, gets to the top of the mountain, maybe this should have had a pause. Because sometimes if they're snowboarding, they have to get their snowboard on their feet properly, they have to get their balance, they have to get oriented. So that maybe should have had a flat area, which means he's not going anywhere. But then look what happens. He's going down, and it's fairly steep, which means he's taking off at a good rate. He's going pretty fast, right? What's happening here? Well, he's flat. He caught up to a buddy and he's visiting, or he wiped out and he has to get himself up and dust it off. Okay. And what happened here? So he went down, but not very fast. Notice it's not near as steep as this area. Okay, so he's going down, maybe it's not real steep, or he's going back and forth a lot because he's still hanging out with a friend. Okay, and this last bit, he just took off down the hill and said, I'm going back, I'm getting cold, I need to get a new strap for my snowboard, whatever. But then he takes off, and down here, of course, he's back at the lodge. You can make up your own story. Does not have to be my story. Here we have a driver that presented this graph of his changing speed over time. Now, I did not put the different hours in, time, it could be minutes. Okay, so if we take a look at this, okay, here his speed is increasing. So he left, no, you're not dismissed, sorry about that. Okay, here maybe he took off from wherever and he's driving, he gets up to a speed, and then he stays at that speed for some time. And he gets to another area, and the speed limit's higher, so he gets to go a little faster, so he increases his speed. And then maybe this next section, he looks ahead and realizes, oh, there's a stop sign up ahead, so I'm going to start slowing down. So he's slowing down and coming to a stop. It could be something completely different. Again, just because I interpret it one way does not mean you can't look at it another way. So get some freedom on this. We've talked a little bit in class about continuous graph versus discrete. Okay, continuous graph is made up of connected lines or curves. Okay, when we're talking about the speed of a car, okay, the distance you are from home. Usually those are based on time. Time is continuous. Okay, the weight of a child as he or she gets older. Well, weight is continuous, so is age. Okay, you don't suddenly go from 0 to 15. You go from 0 to 1 month, 2 months, year, and so on. So that is continuous. Okay, discrete, on the other hand, is made up of distinct points. They're not connected. Okay, I changed this. This is supposed to be the rail. I don't know why it went back. Okay, but the number of people that ate at the rail each day in the past week would give a discrete graph. And typically they go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but you might go Monday through Sunday and have the week start on Monday. But discrete would be a series of dots. Okay, I've also said you can't take half a person, half a bus. Well, that applies to discrete. Okay, the table shows the temperature of the inside of a car over time. Notice it's not getting real warm, so we can assume that it is in a parking garage, so it's not getting sunbeat on it, or maybe even it is a cloudy day. Okay, so at 8 in the morning, and why would the time be the horizontal axis. Okay, you better understand that that's what's independent. The degrees in the car depends on the time of day. Okay, so now when we have this at 8 o'clock, it's 56. At 10 o'clock, it's 62, then it goes up to 64, down to 61, and back to 52. It's cooler at 6 in the afternoon. Okay, would that be continuous or discrete? Okay. Now, we're talking time, which is a continuous thing, and temperature, which is a continuous thing. So we're going to say this is a continuous graph. It's not the number of people, okay? It's not the number of items. We can call it continuous. Okay? Here's the cost of adults to attend a tournament, okay? Whether it's an invitational tournament or the district tournament or whatever. So this, again, would be the number of adults. My handwriting has gotten worse, I apologize. And this would be their cost. So for one person, it's $5.50. For two people, it's $11. For three people, it's $16.50. For four, it's $22. For five, it's, and so on. Okay? Now, would that be discrete or continuous? Right? With money, we can be continuous. Okay, because that's to the nearest hundredth, that's what cents are. But because this is based on the number of adults, that's our independent, you can't have a fractional number of people, fractional number of adults going into the ball games, to the tournament. So this one had better be discrete. All right, so now you've had an idea of this. An advantage of these videos is that you can back up, listen to something again. Sometimes my voice does not get picked up. I do not have a remote microphone on my computer, so it's what my computer microphone picks up, not always the best. So I hope you're able to hear it all, but the video will give you the advantage. You can go back and look at it.